Welcome to another presentation of the Sound Healing Conference. Today's presenter is Christina Wells. Hi, Christina.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. What have you been up to lately?
Oh, I have been getting settled in San Diego. I'm new
Hmm?
here. So, I've been getting settled into a new place and I love it here. It's great. And just enjoying life, going to the beach and singing my songs.
Cool, cool. Well, Christina began singing at the age of 3 and is born to a lineage of energetic healers. She gave her first vocal performance at the age of 10. At the age of 15, she began training in Reiki, NET, and pranic healing. While living in Mexico at the age of 29, she discovered Tibetan bowls and began using sound frequencies during her energy healing sessions. While in Indonesia in 2015, everything came together during an awakening experience, and she developed a modality she now calls vocal sound therapy. She is in the process of introducing the modality to the medical field and universities in San Diego, and working on a book and an album. Okay. Well, let me ask you the question I ask everybody, and that is if you had all the money in the world, what would you do to help people?
Mm. If I had all the money in the world, I would buy a lot of land, and I would give it back to the indigenous people.
Nice, nice,
Mm.
excellent.
Yeah.
So, we're going to start with a meditation. Do you want to introduce it or just go for it?
Yeah. So if everyone just wants to close your eyes and take a deep breath and breathe into your heart space, just feel the air as you breathe in and out gently, listening to the beat of your heart, feeling the ground below you and the sky above you, feeling your essence.
nice thing about doing meditations before a presentation is it changes the whole energy of the presentation. But I'm just glad I don't have to talk after that. So tell us about your presentation. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Oh,
Just beautiful.
thank you, David. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm here to talk about vocal sound therapy and how it will benefit you. And yes, that was a lot of energy. I could feel it myself. I'm like, whoa. um, yeah. So, what is vocal sound therapy and how will it benefit you? The voice is more than just an instrument, it's you. It's everything about you. It's everything that makes you you. Whatever you felt in the song that I just sang, you felt it because I was doing me. I was allowing my fullest expression to come out without any inhibition, without any thought or reason about what it was or where it was going, but in a space of full trust that my voice is me and that I know my voice and I know who I am and I know how to sing. So, vocal sound therapy is first thing is about really discovering how your voice is you. And it's always been you, and it's always going to be you. And when that space is embraced, this whole world opens up and freedom is discovered and there's more joy in your life and it's easy to communicate, it's easy to sing, there's more confidence, there's all these things start to just naturally come in with this one simple thing: using your voice. And many people, they walk around like, oh, I can't sing. I'm not a singer. Oh, I don't have a good voice. Oh, you don't want to hear me sing. I don't sound very good. And I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. That's not correct. That's not the space that I work in. You can sing and you do have a voice. Every single person can sing. The voice is a pressure valve that expresses the entire system. So, whenever you put a stick, for example, in a tire, what is it going to do? It's going to stop the tire from moving because our system wants to constantly be moving. So, when you stop that tire from moving, you start to create blocks. In those blocks, beliefs come in and all these other stories start to come in. And that's one of the reasons why people generally feel dis-ease or unhealthy or unhappy. It's that simple place of, hey, I didn't allow my voice to express me. And when I don't allow my voice to express myself, then all these other symptoms and things start creeping up. Over time, if that time starts to elapse for years and years and years, things get muddled and confused, and sediment can set down in the bottom of the body because we haven't been allowing this free flowing rhythm that is natural. It is our natural innate ability, it is our innate instinct to allow our voice to be the expression of who we are. So, vocal sound therapy, I go in and it's about opening that voice. It's about discovering that voice of you. And there's a variety of techniques that I use to help a person open up, move through their fears, learn how to sing, learn how to love their voice, and learn how to step into using their voice as the expression of who they are. We're all different. It all comes through in a variety of ways. And the biggest piece is not judging that. You can't judge who you are. I mean, you can reflect on certain things. Around the voice, I am constantly learning. I'm constantly stepping through barriers where, whoa, that was scary. I'm going to step out of the comfort zone and do that. But I have to because it's me. And I have such a deep love for myself that I'm going to allow that despite how scary it is. And that is the continual healing and embodiment that results from the expression of who you are. So there are, why you might be asking, are you withholding yourself? Why is it hard for you to express yourself? Why is it hard for you to express your song, to sing, allow that voice to come through that is you? And the main reason is social and family conditioning. So, whether you have society conditioning based on how we're supposed to present ourselves, yes, I just used the little fingers, um, how we're supposed to present ourselves in public, over here, over there, right? So, all that is a beginning of a conditioning that shapes how you are allowed to express your authentic self. Then you have family conditioning, and every families are different, and a lot of it is inherited and it's gotten passed down from generation to generation to generation, and it's very genetic. And that may be many people, so many people who come to work with me. They express their a story of, oh, my mother or my father or my brother or my sister, they told me I couldn't sing. Some people even say, I had a teacher who told me not to sing, or I had a singing. Just recently, there was a woman who shared, yes, this vocal, my singing teacher in school told me that I should not sing. And I was just like, whoa. I was so taken aback. But it's all those little things of saying, no, don't sing, or hush, be quiet. Your voice isn't allowed here, or this or that. And it's very difficult for, as you're growing up, there's this suppression that begins to unfold on a regular basis. So, over a span of years, people are learning how to suppress their natural expression, their voice, without the knowledge that their voice is what brings them balance. It's what brings them harmony. It's what brings them groundedness. It's what brings them embodiment. It's what brings them joy. It's what brings them clarity. And so, over the years of all this suppression, the other ailments start to come in. Maybe energy levels are low because there's regret that this wasn't spoken or that wasn't done or this didn't happen. Regret's a huge one. And, oh, I should have said this, or, oh, I should have done this. And all of that is the body and the self saying, oh, I'm recognizing I didn't allow myself to express myself, the self. And so there's ways that we can undo this social conditioning. So the second reason that people have these blocks is when you start unearthing the social and family conditioning, is you're going to step into a space of fear. So people are really afraid. They're afraid of what their peers are going to say, what their peers are going to think, what their family members are going to say or think, what their loved ones, their husband or their wife or their boss, or there's all these things. Oh, well, I can't do that, or I can't do that, or this won't be accepted. That's not possible. I can't step into that space. I can't be myself. Underneath all those excuses, what a person is really saying to themselves is, I can't be myself. I'm so afraid that I'm going to receive the same consequences. I'm going to use the word consequences. I'm going to receive the same consequences from using my voice as I did when I was a child. And And that's really not the case. And so it's really about being able to move through that fear. And while I'm on the topic of fear, I want to bring up that it's completely normal to feel the fear and it's okay that you feel the fear. I'm going to segue back into the fear in a moment because there's some really key aspects when learning how to really unlock your voice, that you to keep in mind to not withdraw further when those things come up from the fear. So the third thing that comes into play with why you're withholding yourself and you're allowing your why this block is difficult to move is a lack of confidence. Well, that lack of confidence is there because of the conditioning and because of the fear. So that and because of the lack of use. So the first time you sit down to do anything, whether it's your first time learning how to cook, it's your first time learning how to ride a bike, whether it's your first time giving a speech in public, whether it's your first time, it can be singing, it can be whether it's your first time, well, you get the idea. So there's lots of first times, right? And in those first times, what do we experience? We experience fear. Oh my goodness, what if I mess up? What if I do this? What if this happens? So fear comes back into play because the practice isn't there. The confidence isn't there. The knowing, the comfort of what is this going to sound like and what is the outcome and response going to be is all unknown. So whenever you step outside your comfort zone, it's going to get scary. But it's important. So what I do when I work with people is I help build that confidence. I help build that confidence, but you're building the confidence. So what are some of the there are 5 ways, there's more than 5, but there are some 5 key ways in which you can identify how your throat chakra is blocked and you're not allowing your expression. So one thing is you're avoiding a communication or you're having a difficulty communicating. Another thing is you're going to feel pressure or a burning sensation, or possibly even a lump in your throat. And that lump or burning sensation or pressure may create an urge that makes you want to swallow things back down. Okay, so that's another thing that can as a sign that your throat chakra could be blocked around something. The other clue that you might have a block is if you're having difficulty making eye contact. So if I can't make eye contact with somebody, I'm not wanting them to see who I am. I'm withholding who I am. I'm shying away from my expression of using my voice because my voice is me. So I have a difficulty looking somebody in the eye. There are some common things that tie into not looking in the eye. So is my voice lowering? Am I talking in a little whisper? Am I getting really shy? These things are all also signs of difficulty making eye contact. Going back to the avoiding communication, an example of avoiding communication would be I'll use a recent experience that I had. I left the screen door open, and one of the people that I live with, I was in the backyard and I heard them come up and they slammed the door in the backyard, the screen door. And then I heard them walking away huffing and puffing. So that is an avoidance and a difficulty of communicating. That is a perfect example of what that means. This person saw that and over the course of a few days decided to communicate herself. And something else developed out of that. So, whenever you find yourself walking away or not being direct with something, you're avoiding communicating. So, a few days later, she approached me and she just says, "Hey, do you mind closing the screen door because mosquitoes are coming in and they're biting me?" And instantly I understood and I could completely respect and honor her request. And it was a much more healthy way of communicating, but it was also the truth. It was what she was feeling. It was why she wanted the screen door closed. Um, so there's three different types, no, four, sorry, four different types of communication. You have passive communication, passive aggressive communication, and assertive communication. Assertive communication is a skill that can be learned, but it's also a sign that your throat chakra is not blocked. You have the ability to look somebody in the eye and speak clearly to what is going on. And it can be anything. Please close the fridge door, or excuse me, sir, you didn't give me the right meal that I ordered, or a more in depth conversation with a loved one about something that might be more difficult to have. All of these things are examples of avoiding and difficulty communicating. So if you find yourself walking out of a room or just avoiding something that you're feeling, and that avoidance, what's going to happen is that avoidance is going to build up because you're not allowing yourself to speak. So if you go back and you remember where I was sharing that if you put a stick in a tire, then the wheel stops turning. And what that does is that creates a block, or the block was already there, right? So you put this stick in the tire, and because you're not allowing yourself to just openly express yourself, and then all of a sudden this story rolls up and this story rolls up and this comes out and this happens and that happens, and before you know it, you're extremely frustrated, you're angry at this person, you can't look at them, you can't communicate, and all these things have unfolded simply because you didn't just go directly and communicate. So what's happening is these emotions are building up because you're blocking and you're not allowing that expression to arise. So it's just like if you're going to sweep the floor and then you sweep some dirt under the rug, and you're just going to keep sweeping that dirt on the rug. I'm going to pretend it's not there. I'm just going to keep avoiding it. I'm going to keep avoiding whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be anything hard. It can be a beautiful thing. It could be, hey, I really want to learn how to sing. Or, hey, I really want to learn how to paint. Or, I really want to take a vacation. But I'm ignoring and I'm not allowing myself to fulfill what my desire is. Hey, I really want to start eating healthy. Hey, I really want to go to the gym. Or I really want to embark in this particular type of meditation. But 1 year, 2 years, 3 years goes by and it never happens because you just keep brushing it under the rug, pretending, avoiding that expression is there, being waiting to be expressed. So these are different examples of avoiding and difficulty communicating. So just to recap over three, I've spoken about avoidance and difficulty communicating, feeling pressure and a burning sensation or a lump in the throat. And that's all pretty clear. And I'm sure you've all felt that at some time. Tears may often come up whenever you feel those things, and your cheeks might get really red, and it just gets all these emotions start coming up with it. I'm going to talk a little bit in ways to move through that. So, and then I've talked about difficulty making eye contact. This kind of goes hand in hand, but it's also a little bit different in hiding or not knowing your authentic expression. And that may be you communicate and you do this and you do that, but you're not really allowing who you are to express itself in the world. And there's you're hiding yourself. You might walk into a group of people and you're a little bit more withdrawn, you're a little bit more withheld, you have maybe a little bit of social anxiety around being around people. All these things are also correlated with the throat chakra. And the last one is not loving your voice. If you don't love your voice, then there's usually some kind of block around using it in some area of your life. Because if you really love your voice, you're going to love it in all the facets and all the colors that it is. Because the voice is like a sunset. It's like a beautiful landscape vista. It paints, it is, it's life, it's creation itself, all happening at the same time. And when you really learn how to discover that space of really loving your voice, the world really, like I said at the beginning, opens up and begins to change. So, we went over the 3 reasons that keep you blocked and 5 ways to identify if you're blocked. So how do you overcome it? Well, first, you need to feel safe. And second, you need to feel acceptance. However, it's really not about the acceptance of others. It's really about the acceptance of yourself. By accepting yourself, then you allow that to come out. And because there's a love for the self developing on the inside. And the third condition that's necessary to overcome these blocks is play. Let's get out of our adult shell, our adult outfit, and let's remember how to be kids and just play. What do kids do? They're running around, they're imaginative, they're exploring, everything's new. They don't know what's going to happen. They want to figure out what's going to happen. And that's the space that I really encourage my clients to step into is figure this out, to discover, play with this, to discover what is going to come out. Because when my voice really started to open on much deeper levels, I had no idea what was going to come out. I had no idea how it was going to sound. And when I let it come out, I felt a massive opening in my sacral chakra, like a sediment of rock had just broken up, and all this vibratory feelings started to arise of all these things that had been stuffed down and blocked down, and that's okay. So some of you may be asking, well, like, what can I do for myself in my own time to begin to support my journey in really opening my voice? And so this is where we get into the fear. So there are some things that you're going to experience when you first start working with your voice that's completely normal. It is completely normal. And just remind yourself you're safe, you're accepted, and you're playing, you're experimenting. So shaking is a symptom. You might start shaking like this. Ooh, I'm scared. I'm scared. That's okay, especially when things have been stuffed down for an extremely long time. You're going to feel a shake in your body. The other thing is, so you're going to feel the shake in your body, and you might also cry. So you you start shaking, and then tears may want to flow. You might also start feeling extremely reactive. You might want to walk away suddenly. You might feel a little bit of anger come up and all of these things. And all of that is completely normal. And so really just be soft and gentle with yourself and allow yourself to relearn how to be you, to undo all the social conditioning that has suppressed the voice, which is the self, from being whole with yourself. So you're going to go through a variety of things and you might make some mistakes and, oh, that didn't come out right. Or even when you're singing, I mean, sometimes my voice cracks or sometimes this happens. And what do? I just keep going because I'm learning. And I truly feel that as an earth child, that's what we're all doing on a daily basis is we're learning. We're learning how to grow, we're learning how to live our life, how to be kind, how to be generous, how to be authentic, and how to really live and walk our talk and walk authentically. So, vocal sound therapy, when I work with people, there are a variety of things that come into play. So, as you're starting to see, sound and the voice is this myriad of things. It's almost like there's this infinite possibility, it's this blank canvas, and all these things can be created from the voice. And all I know is deep down is that by using it, I am healthy, I am sound, I am in my body. So when I'm working with clients, what I do is there's a variety of techniques that and exercises that I bring into play. So what's really important before I go into that is that when a person chooses to really work on their voice or work with me, it's important to know that the change comes from you. I can support you. I can hold your hand. I can motivate you. I can inspire you. I can create a safe, accepting, loving, and playful space for you to open up that expression. But ultimately, it comes from you. And it's a journey you make in discovering yourself every single day. And that is the main message that I try to get across to everyone. So it's a very interactive work. I'm there sitting back, coaching you. I might work with your body some and have you make certain movements to help energy move. But ultimately, you're the one making the choice moment to moment, just like you make the choice to get out of bed, just like you make the choice to brush your teeth, just like you make the choice to drink water. All these things, you make this choice in how you're going to work with your voice. And again, with that, don't be hard on yourself. So when I'm working with clients, there is a variety of exercises that we can go into. So some people come to me and all they want to do is learn how to sing. And that's great. That's great because even if you just learn how to sing, you're still going to experience all these other things because my technique is very unique in that I'm not just sitting there teaching you how to hum the notes going blah, 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 blah. Yes, I'm teaching you a lot of things about the voice and how to identify your ranges and how to sing deeper and expand your range and sing higher and how to hold that note and have a clear, crisp, beautiful voice. But within that journey, you're actually healing yourself. You are opening and allowing and discovering variety of sounds. With that, I also work with people to discover and their heart song. I call it the heart song, can also be called the soul song, but it is this magical song that only resides in you. And that song might change. It can change at different times depending where you are and your mood. So we work on a lot of improvisation. We work on stepping outside of the comfort zone. We work on doing a variety of tones going through the body and the chakra system, really massaging and allowing any emotions that have been blocked to come out. The great thing about the voice in the process of actual healing is memories may arise and things may happen, emotions may come up, but you don't have to know very specifically what it is. You don't have to get over attached to any of those details. The action alone of making the tones and allowing the tones to be what they are and playing with them in your body is naturally going to move, and it's taking those twigs out of that wheel so that this whole system can run clearer. So that's one way in which that vocal sound therapy works. It also works in terms of sound healing, right? So um, maybe there are people out there that are really, I've had people come to me and they're sound healers and they're like, I've really been feeling to use my voice. Maybe they're even massage therapists, or they're cranial sacral, or they're Reiki practitioners, or they're already working with instruments. There's a wide range. There really is no limitation, but they've been feeling this urge to sing to their clients. So I also work with people. The therapy also correlates into that, because in the therapy, I am helping you clear your pipes. So remember at the beginning, I was saying that the throat chakra is the pressure valve. So think of this as the pressure valve. Your mouth is the sink faucet. Okay. And all of your meridians and all of your channels that are running through your body is this miraculously intricately God source designed system of pipes. And so through the toning that I was talking about before, I help you go in and I walk you through specific toning to clear those pipes to get to the frequency. So in that space, it's really important that you allow the play, because like I said before, what does a kid do? A kid is trying something out for the first time, trying to discover what it is going to be. And that's where that concept is really important, because you never know what kind of sounds might come out that want to express itself. Maybe somebody wants to just start jumping up and down and bolting with joy. Do they allow themselves to? Maybe that person needs to scream and get something off their chest and heave and puff, and they need somebody to witness it. Do they allow them to? Maybe they need to just get really playful and make a bunch of animal sounds and move their body and say, hey, get out of that comfort zone and fear of social conditioning, of what people may think of you, and just allow that natural expression of you to come out, because it's okay to be playful. So I bring in a lot of these exercises, and when we're going in and allowing, and all of these things allow the frequencies to fine tune within the body. So all these frequencies start clearing up and the energy in the body starts moving. And what a person begins to experience is they feel lighter, they feel happier, they feel more grounded, they feel more motivated, they have more energy to be themselves, they feel more extroverted. They may still really enjoy their time, but they're confident in what they know about themselves. They feel a love and a joy to go outside and sing, or to join people in singing if you're in a singing group or you're at some song circle. There's all these possibilities of buying a hand drum, getting some crystal bowls, getting some chimes, and really allowing yourself to discover your voice within that. So for those who are really feel this healing voice is wanting to come through with their clients, there are specific steps of sequences that slightly differ from just learning how to sing. And there's a lot that cross over. And in that, there is the space of clearing all the meridians and discovering, because if you're going to sing for healing of others, you have to have actually experienced it yourself. So, and that's the only way, because once a person learns that, then they can share that. Then there's the confidence to express themselves in the middle of a session and trust that what is coming through is great, and that frequency is there, and that freedom of expression is there. I also work with vocal sound therapy, and this is something that I'm currently working on, and that is really getting into. I'm working on a proposal for the medical field at the moment, and talking with a few of the integrative medical fields here in San Diego to begin bringing these toning and these exercises that I do to help actually heal the body. So you can actually focus the frequency and the tone to very specific parts of the body to heal different parts of the body. I've had people who've had intense pain in their back, all that pain leave and go away. People who feel a pain that comes up every now and then that starts to relieve itself and go away. And so this is something I'm still exploring more, but I've gotten the message that it is going to really take off in the next 10 to 15 years, because we already know that frequency, right, can heal many, 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 many things. But you can make that frequency with your voice, just like a cat purrs, and that cats heal faster than dogs. They just do. Why? Because they purr. That vibration heals, relaxes. It does a lot of things. So it's a vocal sound therapy. I call it a therapy because it relieves so many of the symptoms that people are experiencing on a daily basis in a variety of aspects, in a variety of ways. And the ultimate, and not the ultimate, the outcome from using that voice and discovering your voice, discovering your song, is this feeling of wholeness that really comes into play in your life. And, I've worked with some kids who, they struggled with depression and they didn't know how to interact or express themselves. And they needed a safe container to allow the wide range of emotions that they were experiencing to be expressed without judgment. And that's what vocal sound therapy is. I create a space for you to learn, to grow, to express, so that all these things that have come up that were suppressed come up, and then the real you retraining that you just, hey, this is me, this is me. And it's like peeling back layers of an onion. So as we go through these exercises and these techniques and we meet every week, then all of a sudden you just, every week it's like this little layers coming off. I'm getting a little bit lighter. It's a little bit easier to do this, and I'm feeling more confident, and this part of my life is changing. And it's the results that I've seen within my own life and within my clients just prove every day how powerful our voice is, and how powerful it is to truly know thyself. But more than know thyself, give thyself the freedom to be thyself. And in order to be yourself, you have to allow yourself to express. I'm saying a lot of selves. But that's just the simple truth. And when that expression comes out, like I said, it's like this blank canvas. And these songs come out, and this love for singing, and this love for the voice, and you can paint pictures, or it's different for everybody. The experience is unique because you're unique. Each one of us is unique. Um, I have this little saying that I love to share with people and about the voice, and it is that the voice is when everyone opens up their voice, we become the collective orchestra. So when you go for a beautiful nature walk, or even if you're looking at an incredible landscape picture, you might see a field of wildflowers and butterflies and trees and maybe a river and different plants, and maybe there's a deer and there's a bird flying around and there's all these insects in the ground. And all these things are this collective orchestra because they each have a unique frequency. Sound is energy, is a vibration, vibration is a frequency, and frequency is sound. Everything has energy. So a flower has a sound of a certain flower. And when they all allow themselves to be, we walk into this magical landscape, and without even words to express, because sometimes there are no real words to express, we feel amazing. But we feel amazing because everything is in harmony, everything is aligned. The crow doesn't stop itself from sounding like the crow. The ant doesn't stop itself from being the ant. The tree doesn't stop itself from being a tree. The ocean doesn't stop itself from being an ocean. Every living thing embraces what it is, and it allows what it is, and it expresses through its instincts and its own ways of energy itself, adding to this collective orchestra. So, as humans, and we're really in this age of Aquarius right now, so as humans, and we're all learning how to open our voice, as we step into that power of our voice, we're going to join in with that collective orchestra. We're going to reclaim and remember the harmony of living with our surroundings because we feel the harmony of living within ourselves. So, I hope this answers about what vocal sound therapy is and how it will benefit you. There are a lot to explore. I do have a special offer that I'm offering. This particular offer is really geared to people wanting to learn sound healing with their voice to work with clients. But anybody can join to learn. It's open to everybody, and it's really been a pleasure. I'll hand it back over to you, David.
Great, thank you. Um, there's a couple of comments that I talk about in my classes. It's like, you know, as babies, we had it down, right? If we had anything going on, we'd expect, it's like, wow, we just let it out with a sound. We are professional sound healers. So it's really just remembering what we already had. And then around one, it's like shh, or two, it's like shh. And then school is like no more sound, no more, no more, right? Also, there's the Anita Morjani had fourth stage cancer with welts all over her body, and she died and went into the light. And when she came back, she said she knew the cancer would be gone within a month because she no longer cared about what people think because she was filled with love. It's amazing how big that is because we're social beings, right? So there's a component that's important for us to be social and fit in, right? But then we go a little overboard, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the other thing that is interesting is I think it's a bigger problem for women because men have been squashing the throat chakra of women for tens of thousands of years. Not just in the past, but in other cultures, it's like intense. And here it's intense, right? And so that's huge.
May I comment on that
Oh
one?
yes, yes.
Yeah, so I have had a lot of women come to me and work with me. And, part of my awakening experience had a lot to do with a lot of that. And so, what I learned is that the womb, the sacral chakra, especially for women, is directly connected to the throat chakra. And there's a lot of repressed anger and sadness that happens. And so, like I said, I've had a lot of women come, and there are a variety of techniques that I help women do to work through and open up that sacral chakra and clear that sacral chakra from those memories of suppression through the genetics.
Nice. Well, also men have the problem of being afraid of being too cocky, right? Because we don't have, I mean, I didn't have a mentor that was a nice balance of masculine and feminine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had no mentor to be able to be this nice balance of a human that I am. So men also.
Yeah, definitely. I really, when I look at society today, I see how women are in this empowerment phase of really opening up their voice, coming out and speaking their truth. Some of the anger's coming out with that, absolutely. And some of that is definitely being misdirected at the men. Absolutely. And that I feel is really important to be identified. But in that, women are working through how to reclaim their voice. And then men are going through, I see men as these beautiful pillars of protectors. You have this ability to be protectors. And, so in the women, as they work through this, the women get combobbled, and then the women are, what they may have gotten away with before isn't working, or what they thought was okay is suddenly not okay, and all these changes start coming in, or maybe they didn't mean anything in a bad way, but this happened, and then they're like, whoa, what do I do? How do I say X, Y, and Z? I don't want to piss anybody off. And I've seen that with men feeling like, hey, there's this restabilization that men are going through to refine their footing, and while they not only allow the space of the woman to express themselves, but they also allow themselves to express themselves without hindering the woman's expression. And that goes both ways, because the woman shouldn't hinder the man's expression either.
Right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think of like my own issues, which are probably quite common. And, when I get quiet is when people are either inconsiderate or mean or just speaking in a judgmental way, right? And instead of even engaging, I just go silent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to go to that level of energy, right, and engage. And so then when I'm in my Zen master, I can take it and turn it. Right? It's like, oh, right? But I don't always have that presence of mind to be able to know precisely how to get in there and shift it.
Mm-hmm. I think that takes practice, and I definitely know what you're talking about. It's like there's this space of discernment, and it's not that I'm suppressing myself, I'm using my wisdom that this just isn't the space right now for this.
Cool.
And you could still go there, right? It's not that you can't, but you're making the choice, because that confidence is there. You know what your voice is, you know what that is, but you're making a cognitive choice to just step back. And I think that's healthy.
Nice, beautiful, beautiful. There's one other thing that came up that's interesting, that I hadn't thought about before, and that is I see singers that bring the pain through. You got to suffer to sing the blues, and they can get really, really emotional and deep, and it's heart rendering, right? But then there's another level, like watching you sing earlier. It wasn't just pain or singing the blues. but there's that suffering in there that, you know what I'm kind of getting at, how to get to the next level where it's not just you're not, because I mean you can sing incredibly. I mean people that express themselves with the blues, I mean it's like it's amazing. But when you take it to the next level, so it's not just it's not just expressing the suffering.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've given this so much thought. I love that you
Oh,
brought
cool.
this up.
Oh, cool. I'm so glad I asked you this question. This is very great.
Yeah, I really love that you brought this up because I do feel there's a certain, and it's like a shift in belief again because we've been brought up to believe, or how do I say this? Something I've definitely seen in people who've been working on themselves and they've been healing. It's almost like there's a space where they might get stuck in the healing and they forget that it's actually the joy that is the healing. And songs and sound can take on a wide range and a wide colors. And so with sound healing, what is the feeling that one is wanting to transmit to the group, right? So in a slight phrase of sorrow or not pain, I might be singing the woman's song of deep love that the Mother Earth feels for her children. And it's this like, oh my God, I love you. I love you, right? And then it can shift into this playful playground where everyone's, because these are things I imagine when I sing. It's just,
I'm gonna have to play back that recording now.
well, I do. I picture people like frolicking out in the field of nature, and it's like, yeah, this is the prayer.
Oh, it's really cool. It's like being in it, but not being attached to it, so you can hover above it and go to different realms.
Yeah, and it's also, there was a point in my singing, I recall, this happened probably about 4 years ago. And I was like, interesting, Christina, your songs are so serious. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I started to explore different frequencies and different sounds because it was like, wait a second. It was like this discombobulating moment where it was like, duh, it's all about the heart. Let's just sing from the heart. and in that myriad of expressions that are there. And sometimes a person, all they know at that time that how to express is pain. And they're healing. They're healing
Right.
themselves.
You need it at the
And
time. Yeah.
yeah, and they're still learning to wake up to, okay, now you've gone through your healing. Let's go do something.
Let's
Let's
play.
be proactive. Let's go play. I want to play. I want to have
Right.
fun.
Celebrate.
Let's celebrate. And yeah, there's so much in there, and I'm always open to feedback because I'm learning and growing all the time. And it's just life. So yeah, like I said, I've given what you shared a lot of thought. And the other piece to it is takes me back to this a Navajo grandmother that I know, and her name is Patricia, and she's Navajo Dene, and she says every human being is born inherently whole, true, and perfect. It is only in the belief that they are not. It's that simple. And she says it's in the belief. She says in Navajo, there is no word for illness, for sickness. There's no word for evil. It doesn't exist. But our minds have created it. So if I'm stuck in a pattern of healing, and some people who have been in that process get stuck in that pattern of healing, they keep recreating the pain. instead of stepping into who they are. And so I've seen it, and I did it for a little while, and that's how I'm able to recognize it. But she said we're all inherently whole and true, and it's only the belief. And so you clear those beliefs, right? And then boom, I'm going to express myself with confidence.
I just love it. Love it. Excellent. Excellent. What a great answer. I'm so glad I asked that question.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your presentation, for your sound that you did in the beginning. Thank you for what you do and your service. It's just excellent.
Thank you, David, for having me. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, I look forward to catching up another time.
Cool.
This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Visit newearth1.com.